This is WLOX Law Call.
And welcome back to Law Call on this Saturday evening. So happy to have you along with us while we are here in studio. As promised, the phone lines are getting going. We are talking about all things auto accidents tonight. If you've been involved with an auto accident or a family or friend member, especially if it wasn't your fault, we want to hear from you tonight. First up on the phone lines, I think we have Billy on line one. Billy, good evening. What can we help you with?
Hey, Billy.
I was just recently, yesterday, driving, and a semi driver was drunk and caused an 8-car wreck. I was able to avoid everything, almost flipped my vehicle. I was taken to the hospital with herniated discs and nerve damage now in my back. Do I sue the driver or do I sue the company?
Billy, let me say I appreciate the, I mean, he getting right to it over there.
Yeah, Billy's,
let me just first say there have been some just awful car accidents recently around our area, along the Gulf Coast and the WLX viewing area. And I mean, they're heartbreaking. They're heartbreaking.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
this is the fatalities and then life-changing injuries. So right off the bat, let me say, Billy, I'm thankful you're okay.
Thank goodness he was able to at least, not make it as bad as it could have been.
Where would you go first with that, Matt?
Ooh, well, Billy, yes is a short answer. As we've talked about on the show, 18-wheelers, and listen, I don't blame them. They're doing their job. I get it.
That's right.
But they literally have quick reaction teams. When there is a bad accident where people are getting seriously injured, they have lawyers on standby, engineers on standby, accident reconstruction that respond to the scene almost immediately to take photos, to take measurements, to record statements, things like that. And quite frankly, they are working for, the 18-wheeler company.
Sure,
and so they're trying to put the evidence in their best light. Okay, I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong, but they're trying to help themselves. And so that's what you're going up against. So when you're trying to kind of put your life back together, when you're trying to, get to the hospital, get a handle on what your injuries are, they're on the scene, working against you, basically, trying to help themselves and not working for you, working, pulling against you. So you got to move quickly. Listen, I'm not here on the show to tell people to always go to a lawyer, always go to a lawyer. That's not what I'm here to do. But I'm telling you, when it's an 18-wheeler accident and when there are injuries, you go to a lawyer immediately, because even if you do, you're already a week behind. Okay, and not to mention, and I'm getting all riled up here, but Kenny, as you know, I see that. I know. No, I'm not settling. I'm not settling. There's also things about preserving the evidence, downloads, because 18-wheelers have a computer, kind of like a black box, like an airline. And you've got to do what's called a preservation letter. So you've got to tell the 18-wheeler company saying, take that 18-wheeler out of service, preserve the evidence till our experts come and take a look, because that'll tell you distance and braking speed. It takes the drama out of how fast, it doesn't show you what the driver sees, but it tells you what the vehicle was doing, how fast it was going, when it began to brake, what the speed it was going. So that's kind of critical stuff.
Critical information.
Anyway, that's a lot. Now let me get back to your question, what you actually asked.
Right, and Billy did it. Billy was like, should I sue the driver? Should I sue the company? And I appreciate his pinpointedness on that, but the reality is he needs to talk to
immediately.
Yeah, talk to somebody else first. Right?
Because I don't know how long this has happened, and Billy sounds okay, but boy, back injuries, they take a long time. Surgeries take a long time to recover from. So there's a lot to be done, and I mean a lot to be done right now on that case. So ultimately, if it does go to litigation, and generally they do at some level with 18-wheelers, you would name the driver and the company. Okay. Now the company's insurance covers the driver, so the driver's not out of pocket as long as the driver was working within the course and scope of his employment, meaning that he was doing the company business. Now, if he was on a lark, if he was off the clock, if he was joyriding in the truck, that can be a different story, and that gets tricky, and that does get litigated frequently, obviously. But if he was doing what he was hired to do by that company, move the truck from point A to point B, you're okay with that. But you name both. The company's insurance company provides the lawyer. The driver, there's nothing out of the driver's pocket. He just is named. So that's but Kenny was right. Kenny was right. Shockingly, Kenny was right. You need a lawyer as in yesterday. So please, a lot of great lawyers on the coast do this kind of work. Call one immediately to get that evidence preserved and protect your rights.
Billy, thank you for the call tonight. Appreciate you being so detailed with your question.